Hit it, baby. Let me chill. Get ready, because we about to make the best Creole Louisiana style gumbo. Just keep watching, and we will get you right. All right, we got some andouille sauces, some shrimp, crawfish from Louisiana, okra, crab meat, and claw meat, and a blue crab, and a trinity. Let's go. So we're gonna start off with browning the sausage. If it's not andouille sausage or some kind of Cajun sausage, it's not gonna work. So regular smoked meat, it ain't Louisiana if it's not andouille. Let that simmer and brown. Next, we're gonna get our okra nice and brown to get that gooky slime out that ruins okra for most people. We don't want a slimy pot, so we want to cook that and season it until the slime has departed the premises. And we're hitting that, of course, with some Tonys. Get that Creole kick. Next, we're going to get our shrimp prepared. It has the shell on it. Some people like to make their shrimp stock. Instead of using seafood stock or water, you can boil the shell and create your own broth and pour it into the pot later. But right now, we're just going to brown the shrimp just a tad and get it ready for the pot for later. All right, now you see we have everything all nice and brown. We're going to set it to the side for just a moment and get our trinity ready before we pour our roux in there. This is the best homemade from scratch Savoie or Savoie, whatever you want to call it, roux from Louisiana. Because if your roux ain't chocolate brown, it ain't roux. Not for gumbo, that is. So we take a few scoops out the jar, and people traditionally, they won't tell you, but it tastes just like homemade roux. You're going to just stir it around till it looks like the consistency that you need it to be. I did play around with the amounts of roux I put and took in and out. So if you want a thicker gumbo, you need more roux. So I had a lot, and then I decreased it. You'll see that during the process. So we're just converting the roux into the pot, giving it a stir. And we're going to get ready to add our trinity, which is celery, onion, and bell pepper. That is they call it the Holy Trinity. And when you're cooking anything from Louisiana, those are the three major ingredients you must have, especially in your roux. Then we've let it brown down. You want to really wait till it's translucent to stop stirring, but my hands was tired, and we added garlic just to give it a good taste. You gotta have garlic, that's like the cousin, and give it a stir. Now I had to put a whole mess of roux in here, and I took some out. I was worried that it would be too much, but I feel like you should put, for the size of the pot I had, you should have more. And then we poured in some seafood stock. Like I said, if you want to make your own from scratch, you can take the shells of the shrimp. Then we're pouring in our sausage once we put in some of our broth. Our okra that's been deslimed, thank God. And nextly, we're going to end with putting in some blue crab. Now, a lot of people do snow crab and weird stuff, but typically Louisiana, they eat blue crab, and these are probably some of the worst blue crabs I've ever had. Skinny. You want to put a little lobster base at the very bottom. All you need is 1 spoonful just to give it a good seafood flavor. We're putting in some W sauce. That's optional, but I like to give things a little extra kick. We have some Cajun seasoning, which is important. I like it combined with Creole seasoning, Tonys. And yeah, I went a little heavy, but that's all right. A little onion powder. I was a little skimpy with that, but we added some more later. Garlic powder, of course. Gotta have garlic with the onion. Yes, sir. And then cayenne pepper, which you might think, okay, I have it already in my Tonys and my other Creole seasonings, but hit it with a little more cayenne pepper just because. And thyme, you can put real thyme or you can put the thyme leaves, and I prefer either or. And paprika. Paprika adds a nice smoky flavor to it as well and helps with the color. Now we're going to add some gumbo filet. Everybody doesn't like it, but if your pot is too thin, Gumbo filet comes from the sassafras trees in Louisiana, and it gives it a nice little gumbo flavor, as well as thickens the pot for you, so you don't have to worry about the slime from the okra thickening it for you. That's why people add okra to a gumbo pot, to thicken it up. But I mean, I could have used a lot more slime because mine was a little watered down, but some people like either a watered down or a very thick, but you want somewhere in between. But let's keep going. 2 bay leaves were added. We're just giving everything a stir. Our kind of simple meats like the shrimp and crab and crawfish we'll add later because it's more delicate and it cooks faster. So we're gonna let this boil with the sausage for a few hours. We're adding green onion, which is scallion, and some parsley. Oh yes. And we're gonna let that sit for about 2 hours, and then we're gonna come back with our crawfish, lumped crab, and we're gonna save our shrimp for the last 15 to 20 minutes of the boil process, because this is a 3-hour process, but you will boil your whole pot for 2 hours at least. There's our crawfish, straight from Louisiana. Creolefood.com is the best place to get great ingredients that you can't find up north or in other neighboring states. They'll send meat to you in a cooler in a very timely manner. I really enjoy doing business with Creolefood.com. Check them out. Okay, now as somebody that cooks a lot of Caribbean, Jamaican food, there's some significant seasonings I use in soups that give it a beautiful blend of flavor and kick. So I'm still debating on whether to add this clip to it because it's kind of like a secret. And I know people have something to say because it's my spin. Because to me, the pot was good, but it was missing its edginess it needs to really go over well. So of course you put salt. Of course you put pepper. And some people add Old Bay. I added a little bit of Old Bay. But I also love to use green seasoning, which is pretty simple, kind of like the same thing, because they have Trinity seasonings that's like bell pepper, celery, and onion seasoning. And this is kind of like a crushed variation of that. This is what I add to my soups and everything I cook really that's Caribbean. I also added some Grace fish seasoning. It just gave it nice, better kick than Old Bay. A little chicken season up because some people put chicken broth in their gumbo. They put like 2 quarts of the seafood and 1 quart of chicken, and it does make a nice blend. So I didn't have chicken broth, so I wasn't doing that. So the season up, just a little bit of it, took it a long way. Next, we're doing some long grain jasmine white rice. And let that boil. Once it comes up to a boil and the water is out, we're going to turn it on a low simmer with aluminum foil on top. That's the best way I found to make steamed rice. Next, the last 20 minutes, we're pouring in our sauteed slightly shrimp so it can finish cooking in the pot, and add all the meat in. That will be the completion of all meats. Seafood is very tricky. You don't want to put it in too soon, let it cook too long and become rubbery. So we put it in last, and I let it boil for another 30 minutes or so. Alright, now our rice is bubbled up. We're going to let it steam for about 10 minutes or so. We're going to cover it with aluminum and sit the top on it, and it's good to go in a few minutes. And then we'll be ready to plate it. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this gumbo. It's boiled for 2 hours. You could boil it even longer. Add some more filet if you want yours thicker. Or you could do without browning your okra so that the slime thickens up your soup, but I made it a little differently because of how some people in my family like theirs. So It's up to you, but look at all that good meat up in that pot. And let me tell you, sugar, the taste, that kick you taste, it's not too spicy, but it's very well seasoned. So I try not to have anything that's too salty, but you will feel all kinds of flavor, especially with my little secret ingredients. All right, now. So we're giving everything a stir around, and you can continue to add more gumbo filet if you want it thicker. But I wanted to do this consistency for now, and we're gonna get ready to plate it. Let's go. Our white rice is ready. All right. Y'all, I'm so new to this professional display look, so bear with me. But here it is. Y'all, and Cajun people put me on to having potato salad with it. I'm gonna throw some hot sauce on the potato salad. Drink me some cranberry pomegranate juice and we good to go, baby. Yeah. This is gumbo. And lastly, it thickened up and was even more tasteful the second day, y'all. This is my gumbo.